सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम्। श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात् शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात्। Whenever we get time, in order to fill our life and experiences in those times, one of the most favorite enchanting experiences is to talk. There are two topics that we usually talk about. One is how great I am, and the second topic is how great everybody else is not. We love gossiping about these topics, and there is a mutual understanding. When there is a group of people, you never go to that area wherein you end up criticizing or talking about those who are present in that group. Everybody else other than the group is the point of discussion. Who, where, what, how, when. A week ago when I was coming out from a grocery store, it was a long line, so I was standing at the checkout point. So I had to do some time pass. So my mind started doing the mathematics. Not that I am very skilled at it, but just counting. I started counting how many magazines are there on display. And that too, it's very strategically pointed, placed. You would find all these magazines right at the exit when people are waiting, and they tend to browse and pick one of them. Makes a good sale. There were at least 47 of them that I counted. 47 magazines which are filled with gossips, more gossips and more gossips. They may not know what their children are doing, but they will know about everybody else in the world. This is called Parama Vikshepaha. Parama Vikshepa, such a unnecessary tussle of the mind to constantly lick upon something which is bleeding. And what is the bleeding factor here? Our own energies are being wasted in unnecessary thinking, unproductive thinking. So in a way, if you look at it, these gopis, what they are doing is gossiping about various things, but one great attribute which changes their gossiping into a great sadhana of contemplation. The issue of their gossip was none other than Krishna himself. Parabrahma Paramatma in a live format right in front of them. When the Lord himself is right in front of them, there cannot be any other vastu or vishesha which can attract human mind. Even a person like Kamsa is attracted to Krishna out of fear. That's a different story. But he is also attracted. We are constantly attracted to the Lord in His live presence. So these gopis have a very beautiful meditative group therapy. So what do? Whenever they are, say, washing clothes together, bringing water for the homes, or going out selling their buttermilk and various milk products, or in the evening when they find a little time, gather around in somebody's house, or just because they had to gather in somebody's house, create an event so that they can talk about Krishna. So here in this 21st chapter, that Krishna who has become the very life of these Vrajavasis, a sample is taken as to how these gopis spend their time. And each shloka is a highly meditative shloka. Because when we do puja, the upasana is to first invoke the Lord and His presence in front of us. And what we do as the upachara, the 16 steps, is a live interaction of that Supreme invoked in this form. At least these 16 steps if we could do. That is why the puja is kept. But it does not mean that our upasana stops there. We can invite the Lord to become part of our everyday dealing. When in the heart of yours you invoke the Lord and constantly interact with Him. Swamiji, is it not imagination? Better than unnecessarily waste of that energy. Yes, it is imagination. There are many things we imagine. Let's not go into that Vedanta part. This is the healthiest imagination. to invoke Lord in our own heart, seat Him on the lotus of our heart, and constantly interact with Him. In fact, I had met a sadhu in Ganga Ghat in Haridwar, Hari Ki Paudi. So in the evening, just before the Arati could begin, we had already taken our bath in Mother Ganga and stood by the side, and then wore our clothes and then did our tilak chandan and everything. We are waiting for the Arati. It was still 5-10 minutes. So this sadhu walks and he is seriously looking. So he looks at our group of brahmacharis and then he says, one of you, can you hold my Kanhaiya? So he said, I have to take a quick bath in Gangaji before Arati starts so that I can also participate. But I cannot leave my Kanhaiya just like that. So can you please hold him for me? The bhava, it was a small little idol, small little statue, murti of the Lord. But his bhava was he was carrying that Krishna everywhere in his life. So before he went to Snana, his instructions or his request to that Krishna was, stay with them. Don't do any pranks, natkat mat karna. Ab bhi aata hu, I'll just come back. We felt very, very touched. So as he was going, so one of our brahmacharis, he said, Kanhaiya ko kuch khilaya ki nahi? So he said, that also very sweet, that he has eaten from my hands, but ask and see if he wants to eat from your hands. I don't have any objection. Constantly with that chinta of that Lord. Not chinta, chintana of that Lord. So this is how the gopis start. Gopya uchuhu. The gopis started speaking. They said, Akshanvatam phalamidam naparam vidamaha sakhyah pashaunanu viveshatorvayasyaihi. They said, they were all like friends. They had grown up in Vraja, or they were married into Vraja Bhumi. Their address was, Ari sunti ho? If you could imagine all of them gathered and sitting together, maybe filling their pitchers and pots with water and talking to each other. They say, this Shyama Sundara Krishna and Gauranga Sundara Balarama, we eagerly wait for them when they come back from with their herds of calves. But you know, I am so jealous of that Venu, the Murali of Krishna. It is hollow, it doesn't have any stuff inside. See, look at their imagination. They are thinking that Murali of that Venu of that Lord to be a person, personified. And how is this person? A hollow person. It doesn't have anything inside, no stuff, not even fluff, khali hai. I don't know what punya this Venu must have done, this Murali must have done. That which is ours, who is ours? Krishna. This Krishna who is ours, we need to be blessed by his kisses. And his lips are constantly on that Murali. And poor fellow Krishna, knowing that it is hollow, has to keep blowing in to fill that Venu. That beautiful waist of Lord, which should be held by us, imagine, there also the competition is with that Murali only. And this Murali, the Lord has constantly kept with him till the end. Right from his Vrajabhumi stay till the end. Even in the Mahabharata battlefield, he was carrying the flute. Probably he thought between the fights, whenever he found little time, he could entertain himself. But he carried it. Always. The rest of the things he would take it off. But Murali, he would never take it off. The flute would always be constant companion of the Lord. Usually, these Muralis, how many holes do they have? 7 main holes, 1 hole to blow, 8, and there is, after the 7 holes at the very end, there is one small little hole which will adjust sometimes the Shruti. And of course, the exit, the last big one, so totally 9 holes. So Mahatmas have interpreted that this Sharira is also very holy. We also have 9 holes. The music of the Lord can come through us only when it is empty. Presently, we are full of ourselves, full of myself. So the music never comes. What comes out is when the pressure builds, it's like the pressure cooker, right? When the pressure builds, sometimes when the pressure has to come out, finds the weak spot and bursts out. An erratic pattern, this is what comes out of us. Never any melody. Whenever we are asked, how are you? We never say, I'm on the top of the world. But instead we say, we have that own, who was it, Samsung or Hercules, who was carrying the Atlas on his, was it Atlas? Now Atlas was carrying the entire globe on his head. How would his face be? If you were to go near him and say cheese, he says, chup, I'm carrying the entire earth on my head. How can I even smile? That is how we are. Individual atlases. Even the smile that we can muster is lackluster. Doesn't have depth in it. Somewhere I had read a beautiful statement. Must have been in one of the novels. The character there says, the body smiles through the lips, but the soul smiles through the eyes. In our smiling, there is a discrepancy between our lips and eyes. Eyes reveal the entire pain, and lips a plastic smile. So there is no match. There is a mismatch. So here the gopis, they further describe, look at this beautiful Krishna and Balarama. How are they? One is dark, so wears light color. Kya combination? Color coordinated. One is darker in shade and wears golden yellow clothes. The other one is white and wears dark blue color, deep blue color, silken clothes. Contrast. And how are they decked? One looks extremely strong. The other one looks very delicately balanced. But there is a beauty and charm about both of them. Why did we women not get even a iota of that charm? At least, if not we getting it, at least we could have become a part of their charm. I don't know, I don't think even we are worth it. In front of Krishna and Balarama's charm, however we want to present ourselves, we look very pale. Even in their hearts, their constant thing was when Krishna can come anytime. So whenever Krishna would come, they should be ready and prepared. So there would not be a single moment in their life wherein they are shabby, out of shape and unprepared. And there was no, he was not even an Atithi. He considered all these gopis and their homes his own. Right since he had learned to walk. Right since he had learned to love butter. Then they knew it. He could come into anybody's home anytime. Hence, they would constantly be ready. Imagine the alertness with which they were living. Lord of my heart, visiting my home. It is not that I have to go and invite him. Look at the preeti there. It is not that these gopis have to go there and invite the Lord. Oh Lord, please come visit my house. Hamara ghar pavan puneet kar do. Their thing was, this is your house only. It is pavan and puneet. Why you have done all your masti in our homes? So we don't need to invite you, can come anytime. And since you can come anytime, not a single moment in their lives that they would not be prepared. If they make anything in their house, one part of it is taken. If suppose Krishna comes, this is for him. The rest of it for us. Butter, ghee, milk, yogurt, cream, dal, chawal, anything that they had made, roti, one part of it for Lord. If he comes, this is ready. It is not that they are lovers of a possessive nature wherein they would be thrusting it onto the Lord. I have made it with love. If you don't eat it, I'll feel sad. Stop compelling. There was no compulsion, but they were prepared and ready. That's a beautiful part. Usually sometimes in our love, if it could be called love, we are very forceful, very possessive. We push our love on the beloved. They were absolutely so alert that they would not push themselves on the Lord, but be ready. And they said, if not for Krishna, who else is in our life that we should be decorating, we should be ready for? Imagine their hearts completely given, surrendered unto the Lord, every moment of their life. And then they continue saying that the Lord along with his friends. It was a live music channel always. The moment he would take out his flute, his friends would take out their various kinds of instruments and start playing such beautiful music through that flute that their hearts will be filled. And there was another Mahatma who was saying, probably as long as Krishna was in Vrindavana or Vrajabhumi, he had not repeated the same tune again. Every day was a new tune, a new music, ever fresh. Every single piece of music had made the top of the chart. It was not like you have 10 songs in an album and one of them is a hit, and for that song you sell the whole album. Every piece was an amazing piece. Then the gopis say, that this Vrindavana is a place to be jealous of. Even Vaikuntha feels jealous of Vrindavana. Vrindavanam sakhi bhuvo vitanoti kirtim. And somebody say, Are kyun? Why do you say so? So that Sakhi, that Gopi who was saying that Vaikuntha is jealous of Vrindavana, she says, Yat devaki sutapadambuja jala labdha lakshmi. Says, that feet, that divine feet of the Lord which was only for Lakshmi Devi ji, that she was constantly in seva of, those divine feet are now running all around Vrindavan, all around this Vrajabhumi. So this Bhumi is more sanctified than Vaikuntha. So Vaikuntha is feeling jealous of Vrindavan. If you can imagine Bhumi as an entity created and Vaikuntha as an entity created, Bhumi throwing up its eyebrows at Vaikuntha. Krishna is here now. You are Vishnu, he has come here. And they say, when Lord Krishna, with his everyday different Veshabhusha that he would put on, as though he was getting onto a stage to put some mock show, every day it will be a different color of turban. On that turban there would be a peacock feather and most beautiful flowers, usually those which grow in bunches. The Lord would pluck them and place them on his pagdi, on his turban. So much was beautiful. Now on the top of all this, a small little rope with which they would tie the hind legs of the cow, it would be around this turban. It was an unusual combination. And then he would be wearing his Pitambara Vastra with all his Vaijayanti Mala, then there would be Vanamala, there would be Pushpa Mala, Tulasi Mala, 4 or 5 different kinds of malas, and nicely, beautifully decorated, Chandana Tilaka on his forehead, and his arms would be smeared with Chandana all over. When such beautiful Krishna would walk out with the herds of calves. The animals of the forest, like the deer, they would be stabdha. They would freeze looking at Krishna. Usually their eyes are very chanchala, and they say the deer's eyes are very beautiful to look at. With those beautiful eyes, in order to enhance the beauty of the eyes, they would be as though drinking the beauty from Krishna. Like the women put on the kajal, the kajal को English में क्या बोलते हैं? हाँ, no, mascara is the other thing. Eyeliner. Mascara enhances the eyelashes. This is the down one, is the eyeliner. So the eyeliner, as the women beautify the eyes, these deers, they would be drinking, soaking themselves with the beauty of Krishna. And as though nothing else in front of them mattered. As Krishna was walking, their eyes would be moving. They would be frozen looking at Krishna. If you could imagine, green Vrajabhumi, with beautiful ponds filled with Kamala. And all the trees, there were huge creepers that were hanging, with beautiful flowers, fruits, wild berries. And herds of these calves were in front. And all these chirpy little enthusiastic gopas. In the middle, there was Krishna and Balarama. One in Pitambar, other one in Neela, deep blue colored clothing. Playing the flute, everybody playing their instruments. And all the animals of the forest were like, standing, giving them a standing ovation, looking at them. Especially the deer. So as one Sakhi was talking about this deer, she says, what do you talk about our Vrajabhumi and these deer? Krishnam niriksha vinitot savarupashilam. Says, I have heard that the Swarga Kanya, the women from Swarga, going in their private liners, private jetters, their Vimana, looking at the beauty of Krishna, they lose their senses and fall fainted. Such outstanding beauty that even the Swarga Kanyas would faint looking at the beauty of Krishna. So imagine, there are a group of ladies, and one is telling something and the other one is trying to beat it and give a better one. And now this lady has just said, this gopi has just said that there is the Swarga Kanyas also are fainting looking at Krishna's beauty. Immediately there was another gopi who said, Ari chup kar. Hum jo bol rahe hain, it is something that we see. You're telling as if you have seen. Even if you extend your imagination, it should be some reality to it. So this gopi says, Ari nahi re. How do you know? This gopi says that when the Lord is playing this beautiful music and walking around and these Swarga Kanyas are looking, they must have definitely fainted because you get this beautiful flowers which you don't find anywhere in Vrindavan or Vrajabhumi. must have fallen from their locks. Because if they were really conscious, it would not have fallen. They would have fallen unconscious, that is why these flowers would have fallen off their locks. And sometimes their pallu and the sari would also fly away from the Vimana and land in parts of Vrindavan. Sometimes when there is, when you're walking through the forest and your cloth gets, the upper cloth gets caught in the thorny bushes. You tried pulling it, but the more you start pulling it, the more it gets entwined in that thorny bushes. So out of disgust, they would have left it and gone. So the imagination of this gopi is those cloths are actually from the Swarga Kanya's saris, that because they had fallen fainted and their flights were moving, the saris were also flown. If they were really conscious, would it fly? This is, what do you talk of Swarga? I'll tell you something about reality here. Meaning, they still don't believe that there was a Swarga Kanya's fainting. Have you observed the cows? These cows, when they hear the beautiful music of the Lord, they are blessed. That they even forget grazing. They would all turn themselves towards Krishna, and looking towards him, they would be merged in that music that he is playing. You could say he was their personal DJ. Imagine the Lord himself playing music to entertain these cows. How blessed those cows are. When their hearts extend with love for the Lord, they run up to the Lord and start licking his feet. And in their love, they're still not feeling content. When their love starts overflowing, it overflows through their udders. Untimely, they start giving milk. The best of the cow, and it would start flowing, automatically looking at Lord. It happens only when they look at their calf. More than their calf, when they saw Krishna, their love cannot be stopped. It would just flow out of their udders. So the other gopi said, what do you talk of the cows? I am saddened at the calves. Why, what happened? The gopi says, the calves, when they come back home and start drinking the milk of their mothers, and they hear Krishna's flute, just by hearing Krishna's flute, their hearts, though they have spent the whole day remembering that they were not with Krishna at that time, that they were tied down with their mothers, their hearts get filled with love for Krishna and longing for the love, for the presence of Krishna. Their eyes swell with water and start crying in longing of the Lord. That the milk that they have drawn into their mouths, neither can they spit it out nor can drink it in. They are in that acheshta buddhi. This is very touching and beautiful. The whole day the calves have been with the Lord, but that evening to morning, that separation itself was such a pida for the calves, that they started crying in memory of that Lord, in eagerness to meet him again in the morning. So the other Sakhi, who wanted to top this one, said that at least the cows and calves are Chetana, sentient. Have you seen the insentient ponds filled with water, and the rivers, and so say what about them? So she said, usually Yamuna Nadi flows with such a rapid speed. But when Krishna is around, the flow of Yamuna Nadi stops. Why? That waters want to keep seeing the Lord. And why do you have so many big waves? So she had two theories. What were the two theories? Because of the flow stopping, backlog of water filling in, there are waves created. This is theory one. And the second theory is that the waters wanted to feel sanctified by touching the feet of the Lord. So were generating the waves so that they can jump to touch the feet of the Lord. And while touching the feet of the Lord, in offering themselves to the Lord, would also take in the waves some lotuses, so that while the water can clean the feet, the lotuses can be offered at his feet. Even if you can imagine that the Lord is walking by, and Yamuna Nadi personified, or any lake personified, trying to jump and wash the feet of the Lord and offer all the lotuses in the lake at his feet. That every step of his path could be filled by the lotuses that had filled the ponds. He says, better than the river or the pond's water, lucky are those bees. Why? What happened to these bees? There are two kinds, right? The honey bee and the bumblebee. It seems both would be competing with each other. I said, this is our flower and our right. Who is the flower? It is not the flowers that were hanging from the Krishna's turban. It was the Krishna himself who was oozing out with rasa, which the bees wanted to drink all for themselves, competing with each other. There will be all these Vaijayanti mala, Pushpa mala, and all these various kinds of malas decorated on the neck of the Lord. The bees would be least bothered about those malas. Though they were fragrant, they loved the beauty that was oozing out of the Lord. They wanted to soak themselves up with that beauty, because that beauty was much more nectarine, sweet than the honey itself. He says, then one of the gopis says, to tell you a fact, all of us are sick ladies. Why? He says, we all are struck with prema roga. Our vyadhi is Krishna. Krishna Vyadi. So what is the medicine? Krishna's presence. The absence of Krishna is the Vyadi, the presence of Krishna is the medication. So in the absence, to fill the absence of Krishna, see, the presence of Krishna is medication. To fill in that void, they were meditating on that viraha and filling the gaps with his thoughts and imaginations. Then one said, the most blessed is Giriraja Govardhana. Why so? He said, when Krishna was young, he used to spend maximum time home, either in his home or our homes. But after he grew a little and started taking these calves for grazing, 80% of his time he ends up spending on that Pavitra mountain, in and around that beautiful mountain. In our absence, it is this mountain that has provided shade, shelter, food, everything. This Giriraja Govardhana, his lakes are pavitra because it is in these lakes that the Lord jumps in, either to take a bath or just play around with his friends. Imagine how blessed that Giriraja is, that he can serve the Lord so much. So every particle of that Vrindavana worthy of worship. I must have mentioned it earlier. The people there are also equally sweet. It's an old city, so the streets are narrow. So if the streets are narrow, the traffic is more. There's always constant hawking, bell. But when they talk to each other, even in utter frustration, कोई गाली गलोच नहीं देते. They don't use cuss words or anything. Even if they have to say somebody to move away, "Hey Radhe," so somebody said that they didn't say Radhe, they said Rahade. You misunderstood it. Such beautiful place. And the Banke Bihari there, such sweet one. How many hours you stand in front of him? It doesn't feel satisfied. And is ever entertaining. Every 2 minutes once his makeup changes. His turban changes, his makeup changes, his flowers, his garlands, his decoration, everything changes every 2 minutes once. They are scared, the Purohits and the Pujaris there, they are scared because this Krishna is eagerly waiting for somebody who comes there with intensity of love. So what do? They have a curtain. If you see at Krishna more than for a minute, they are scared they will come along with you, he will start coming along with you. So what do? They disrupt your seeing by pulling the parda. Why? They pull the parda, the fresh moment starts again. It had happened 600-700 years ago that Krishna, Banke Vihari, there was a great devotee and he left with him. Mujhe nahi aana. So that Mahatma said this, keep pulling a parda. And such devoted people. Now when you are looking at the murti of that Krishna, itself is so attractive. Imagine him live there. Wow. Thus these gopis, whenever they had an opportunity, what would they be constantly thinking about? They would be constantly talking about various leelas of the Lord, various comparisons of the Lord, various beautiful aspects of the Lord. Without talking about the Lord, their day would not be complete. Without thinking of the Lord, they would not wake up. Without thinking of the Lord, they would not sleep. Probably even in their dreams, they would dream about only Krishna. Sridharji says, Sridharji is a great bhashyakar on Bhagavatam. He says, everybody loved dreaming about Krishna. Why? External competition was absent in the internal world of Krishna that they had created. Wow. So there are many such sweet stories about the Lord that they would be dwelling constantly upon. And moving to the 22nd chapter, here Krishna had grown to almost 7 years now. Hemanta Ritu came in. In the earlier month, Margashirsha, in the Vrajabhumi, all the young girls, Balika of Vrindavana, all the gopis, young gopis, in the Margashirsha Masa, they had taken a vrata. And this vrata is called Katyayani vrata. Katyayani is the name of Kalika ji or Durga ji. So what would they do? Before the morning sun could rise in the horizon, before even dawn, this is Hemanta Ritu is the peak of winters. So in the winter season, even before the sun could rise in the horizon, they would all gather together, go to Yamuna Nadi, and on the banks of Yamuna Nadi there are huge tall trees filled with Kadamba Vriksha. No, Kadamba, I don't know the English translation. There are huge Kadamba trees. They usually have a flower which is green in color, round in shape. It doesn't have any petals or, but its fragrance is a delicate fragrance that would just cover that entire Tira of Yamuna Nadi. So through that Kadamba forest they would reach Yamuna Nadi even before it is dawn. And then turning towards the east direction, they would take bath in that Yamuna ji. Imagine a peak of winters, before even the sun could rise in the horizon, they are taking a dip in Yamuna ji. It would be colder than the AC that you are facing right now. Much colder. And what was this vrata about? This vrata was for 1 month, wherein they would offer puja to the murtis of Devi made in mud. After they had freshened up in Yamunaji, they would come into the banks, wear fresh clothes and sit down and worship that Durga Devi's pratima that was created. How artistic they were in creating that pratima every single day. Maybe it was just a lump of mud in which they invoked Durga Devi. And what was their prayers? Uchchavachaishwaropaharaihi. In loud voices they would be singing. Katyayani Mahamaye Mahayogin Yadhishwari Nanda Gopasutam Devi Patim me Kurute Namaha Iti mantram Japayanstaha Pujam Chakruh Kumarikaha. Thus meditating or repeating the mantra. What was the mantra? He Katyayani Mahamaya, you are Mahayogishwari. Bless us so that Nanda Gopasutam Devi, Nanda Baba's son Krishna, Patim me Kurute Namaha, may he be our beloved husband. Thus they would be repeating the mantra. Yevam asavratam cheruhu kumaryah krishna chetasaha bhadrakalim samanarchaha bhuyan nanda sutah patihi. And they were not scared or ashamed about in their families. All their families had known. What are these girls doing? They are seriously doing this vrata. The best part, every day in the morning, they would all call each other, gather together and go. All the young girls of Vrindavana would gather together for what? So that Krishna can be their husband. Wow. Usually when there is somebody eyeing for a loved one, and there is somebody else also eyeing, there is such irsha, jealousy, dvesha. There was absolutely no irsha, dvesha. All these teenage girls were in love, madly in love with Krishna. So even today, when the parents think, may my daughter get a husband who is as great as Rama, may my daughter get a brother-in-law who is as great as Lakshmana. For them it is not like after Rama, it is while Krishna. Who else? Krishna is the best. We don't want somebody as good as Krishna. We want Krishna only. No mincing with words. They did not do it in hiding, they were not ashamed of it, they did not have any dvesha, they did not have any jealousy amongst each other. Going and coming, they would be constantly thinking about the Lord. पता है, कल कृष्ण वापस जब आ रहे थे, he looked at me. He just looked at you. He smiled at me. Imagine young girls. They were constantly chatting, talking about Krishna and doing this vrata. So one day, all these girls, all these gopis, they left for Yamuna Nadi. And they had taken their clothes off and they had jumped into Yamuna Nadi behind Krishna and his gang. The entire toli was following them. They were about to burst out into laughter with the way these girls were talking and chatting, but they controlled themselves and sneaked behind them. They waited for these girls to get into Yamuna Nadi. So as they went in, what did Lord do? He knew what these girls were. He is Yogeshwareshwaro Harihi. He is a Mahayogeshwara. He knew what was the heart's desire of all these girls. So he followed them behind. And as their clothes were lying there, he took all their clothes, tied them up into a bundle, put it on his shoulder. The tallest Kadamba tree, he climbed to the safest top branch, which had enough gap to put this gathari, the clothes bundle, and then lean on it. Put one foot on the other. Waited for the opportune moment to do his mischief. Then when he saw that the girls for a moment had paused with their talking, maybe because they were about to perform the puja or do the Arghya Samarpan to the Lord, so that is the moment he chose. Then he said, "O girls, O gopis, O kumaris, satyam bravanino narma yad yuyam vrata karshitaha." All of you are doing this vrata here. I am telling the truth. Come to the shore because I have your clothes bundled up right here with me on the tree. If you want them, come and take them. And he was laughingly, loudly announcing this. Usually, you will either be surprised or shocked, but all these gopis turned around and they also very laughingly said, "Kanhaiya, this is not the kind of mischief that you should be doing. We would definitely love to come to you, but not in the position that we are in. Give us our clothes, please." And they said, "You are the very dear son of Nanda Baba. More dear than to him, you are dear to us." And it was like a mock protest. Mock protest by these gopis saying, "If you don't give, we'll go complain to your dad." Knowing very well that they had done it earlier so many times, it never worked. And we'll go complain to your dad. So Krishna said, "Even to do that, you have to first come to me only. How can you go into Raja and complain about me in the way that you are in now? See, whether you come individually or come in a group, it doesn't matter to me. If you want your clothes, come and take." So these young gopis, they said, "Pyare Krishna, my beloved Krishna, we are your dasis. We love you to heart's content. Don't pull this kind of a trick on us. Please give us our clothes." When he said, even while he was sitting there, now he removed his leg on leg, turned around, hanging his legs from the branch, put his two hands on his waist. He said, Ajib dasi ho tum log? You say that you are my servants and I am ordering you to come and you are not obeying the master? So looking at Krishna and his logic, they all walked out, hiding there and protecting there, which could have made it obscene. So they walked out. They covered their private parts. So Krishna, seeing them all around that tree, climbed down the tree. Just before jumping off the tree, he put their clothes still there on the tree. He said, I know you are doing a vrata, but you have committed a sin. Lift your hands, do the pranam, because when you take shower in perennial rivers, when you take a dip, the Shastra says that Nagnam Snanam Mahakuru. You should not enter without clothing. And you all have done that. Your vrata will not be fulfilling if you don't do your prayaschitta. Do everything according to Shastra. Now hearing what Krishna said, they immediately folded their hands and did namaskar, invoking that Parabrahma in Krishna himself. They prostrated in front of him. And Krishna gave each one their piece of cloth. It was not with any, he knew whose cloth it was. He just picked and started giving their cloths. And now he ordered. He ordered saying, Yata balavrajam siddha maye ma ramsyatha kshapaha. Please now go back to Vrindavan. And with regards to your particular vrata, in the Sharad Rutu, on the Purnima of Sharad Rutu, your desire will be fulfilled. Your desires will be fulfilled. This is my promise unto you. And thus the gopis left. Now this is often spoken, often talked about. I would say most of the Manda Buddhi who would like to interpret this in their own vision and understanding. Now, how old was Krishna here? Hardly 7 years old. How can you tell he was 7 years old? He stayed in Vrindavan till he was 10 years old. And the Rasa Leela happened when he was 8.5 years old. This was the year before that when they were performing the vrata. So he was just around 7 or 7 plus. Now a 7-year-old boy usually if we had seen the naked women, we would have lost our senses. But for him there was no kama kanksha. Then why did he perform this? We have seen through the earlier parts of the story that Krishna, unlike in the Rama Avatara, in Krishna Avatara, he knew he was an avatara and he displayed all his powers. Right from Putana, right from birth. Why Putana? Right from birth. He was born in a, now people whenever they go visit the jail, they don't call it jail, they don't call it prison. हम जेल थोड़ी ना जा रहे हैं, श्री कृष्ण जन्म स्थान जा रहे हैं. Where was Krishna born? He was born in a prison. But his powers he started displaying right at the time of his birth. Everybody was asleep. Gates opened, chains opened, Yamuna Nadi gave way. So he used to display all his powers. Now if that Paramatma himself is standing and all these gopis are the Jiva, what is the final layer? The final layer is the Sattvic Abhimana. The Chira represents Sattvika Abhimana. What is the Sattvic Abhimana? This Sattvic Abhimana is a special ego that I am not an ordinary person, I am now a devotee of the Lord. See, imagine the power of that. I am not an ordinary person, I am now a devotee of the Lord. So far there was a worldly ego carried, now there is a sattvic ego carried. That was the layer of clothing in which they were hiding themselves. And the Lord himself standing in front of them, unless they crossed that layer of veil that they were protecting themselves in, Lord and his darshana can never happen. It is not just about the thought of the abhimana. It has to be given up. The memory that I have to give up or I have given up also has to be given up. Now, there are three stages in here. I have to give up my sattvic abhimana. I have to give up the feeling of giving up. The memory of having given up also has to be given up. Or else we will still be hanging saying, you know whom you are talking to? I am the one who has given up ego. It is like somebody claiming, I am the most humble person in this world. The moment you claim, your humility is gone. And when you say you have offered everything to the Lord, what is the final thing? The bodily identification that I am still this body. Get this point here, it is really your sincere effort required to understand. Why do we do upasana? Upasana is not a process that we perform puja there and eat the prasad here. Because we think seva karenge to meva payenge. That is not the attitude with which upasana is performed. What is the reason that upasana is performed? Upasana is performed so that we transcend this body identification. this analog self, body, has a digital strong image. We have an image of ourselves as this, which is very strongly rooted. To displace that thought of our own self that we have is to invoke the Lord and His glory in our minds. And the mind can work only in the realm of name and form. The mind cannot work in a realm where there is no name, no form. निर्गुण निराकार अपर ब्रह्म परमात्मा कहने के लिए ठीक है. The mind cannot fathom that. It needs a name and a form. Presently, the strongest name and form that we have is I and my name. To replace that identity with the form of the Lord and the name of the Lord, we invoke the Lord through upasana. And what is the final veil that has to be dropped? Is the bodily identification that I am this body has to be lost. That last identification of these gopis who were still identified with their bodies, that identification was removed by the Lord Himself. Catch the point here. When will the body identification go? What is the upasana phala? When the Lord blesses. We may put lot of effort in our upasana, but the result of upasana to lose this bodily identification happens when the Lord wills and wishes. Here the Lord willed that these gopis lose their body identification. That final mana, abhimana of theirs with regards to the body, He could remove it through the removal of the cloth. And even in bhakti, when you have offered everything to the Lord, there is no shame in front of the Lord. See, when I usually ask the kids, whether sometimes in a lock-in or I said, have you visited the temple in Aarti? So I have quick questions for them. What clothes were Rama covered in? There is that brass idol there, Panchaloha. What color clothes were Rama, Lakshmana and Sita ji wearing? Something colorful. See, darshan of the Lord is fruitful when we see the Lord carry that image in our heart and walk out of that place. We come filled with our kama vasana or samsara vasana, come and have prostrate in front of the Lord and leave without taking that chavi, that murti of the Lord in our heart. That physical exercise might benefit your health, but beyond which it is not fruitful. Okay. Most of us, when we come, our dhyana is not at the Lord. On one side we say, you are sarvantaryami, O Bhagavan. And then claim, I need nothing but you. Tan man dhan sab kuch hai tera. I have offered everything unto you. Do you think the Lord does not know that you are lip syncing or really singing from the heart? Bhava purna or bhava shunya, He understands. But we carry that layer of shield within, somehow thinking we can fool the Lord. Fool the Lord and say, I have done so many namaskars, now I need so many chamatkars. When we stand in front of the Lord, psychologically we have to be naked in front of Him. Nothing holding us away from the Lord. Nothing hiding ourselves away from the Lord. What do we do when we go in front of the Lord? A Mahatma very beautifully said, like the cat when it drinks milk, closes its eyes. We, the so-called devotees, go in front of the Lord like a cat, close our eyes thinking that the Lord will not look at us from internally. See, it is not that the Lord does not know. It is how much am I willing to open up myself in front of the Lord. If I have taken Him to be the Lord of my heart, how can I have anything hidden from Him? Can I ever hide anything from Him? In front of Him there is no larger, there is no shame. I have to be a transparent book. That transparency lacks because of our identification with this body. We go in with our kama vasana, come back with stronger with our kama vasana. Now we have to transcend from kama vasana to nishkama vasana to no vasana. And that final layer can be taken off only with the grace of the Lord. Till then, we have to constantly put the effort. When do we feel that it is completely justified that we have done our upasana? Is when our bodily identification is finally dropped. What do you mean by bodily identification being dropped? It's a very abstract concept. You have your neighbors sitting next to you, right? Pinch them. When you pinch them, how do you see the other body? It is with the same standpoint and attitude and experience that you see your own body. There's a difference. When I see this body as just a mere prakriti vikara, as I see any other body, if I can see my own body, that is the day that the body identification has dropped. Do not misunderstand this body identification being removed. That imagination that I am this body being removed is realization. You are far away from realization even then. But that is the strongest thing. Misapprehension. Baba, you are not this body. It is like the snake on the rope, and you are trying to teach the rope. You are not the snake. So to remove that last veil in there and to fulfill their dreams, their desires come true, they were doing a Shastra Paddhati in a Ashastriya way in order to correct them and show a Prayaschitta. The Lord said, never perform snana vivastra. And the Shastra says, na nagna snanyat. This is the Agnya of Shastra. That when you enter these rivers, you have to wear something and enter. That's why if you see all these Mahatmas who come to take, they go in with clothes. Why? It will be insulting the Adhisthana Devata of that river, who is Varuna Deva. So he corrected their vrata. And then also blessed them that please go back to Vrindavana right now, but your desires will be fulfilled, your manokamna will be fulfilled on the full moon of Sharad. Wait till then. So the gopis were not convinced as though. Not that they were not convinced, they didn't want to leave. So they pretended as though they were not convinced. They said, ask my friends. They'll tell you that if I have promised something, I have never had a situation wherein I was blamed that I did not fulfill. Ask them. Truly, sachi mein, I'll fulfill. Right now, go back to your homes. So such important part of Vrindavan stay is helping all the Vrajavasis to transcend their final layer in sadhana. And who are these gopis? When you look through the Venu Gita, then Bhramara Gita, Uddhava Gita, in all these messages, they knew Krishna not as a kid, not as a small human being, but they knew that it was Paramatma himself. They had a clear understanding and standpoint. Sometimes it was the men who did not have that clarity. These women had complete understanding. It was the Lord and the Lord himself in this Krishna avatar. And they were glad to find that Lord in their own village to dedicate their hearts to. So this important Abhimana Harana, Chira Harana, as a samvada, today we finish. Tomorrow we will see many more such glories. Tomorrow we will see the Govardhana Parvata. That's a beautiful part that we will see tomorrow from the 23rd chapter. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.